We've got a lot of new people on our donor email list, whatever you want to call it. So some of them may not even know what FGM is.
Mhm.
Give us an explanation. What does FGM stand for?
Female genital mutilation.
And
It happens mainly with the nomadic tribes in Kenya. So you'll find it with the Maasai, the Samburu, Rendile, Pokot, the Borana down at the coast areas and up on the northern and eastern areas of our country.
approximately how many people practice that? In the millions, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's in the millions because it's still a vice that even the government is trying to advocate and amplify their voice to stop, because this is an old culture that does not add value for the women, because now we have had women going under different health challenges, especially during childbirth. They're having UTIs and fistula, which happen especially for women who have gone under type 3 of FGM, because there are different types. So there's type 1, type 2, and type 3. And type 3 is really the bad one.
These girls, if they go through a type 3, they're having problems giving birth, they're having problems actually having their cycle and actually urinating. Is that correct?
Yes. So it happens that they are sealed. When it really happens, it's really nasty and traumatizing because their private parties sewed up. And so when they have their monthly flow, it's a problem. When they're giving birth, they have to be cut open. And then the worst part of it is that they have to be sewn again, because that's culture. So the women in this part of the country actually go through bad fistula and bad heavy bleeding through their menstrual cycle, because it's not happening the normal way as God intended it to be.
Right. Now, can you explain fistula in simple terms?
Fistula is where you're not able to hold your stool. So your nerves are dead, so it just comes loose and you just do it on yourself without having any breaks. So it's really bad and it causes stigma, especially among the women.
And what percent of young ladies have a stage 3 circumcision?
About 40% from 100% of the whole. Yeah.
So you know this problem. Obviously, we know this problem. And when we first did it, we found another group, Men End FGM. You guys went there. You learned from them, but then you ended up just basically starting your own ministry. And why was that? Why did we kind of break off and start our own ministry?
We broke off because first and foremost, they had equipped us to do it on our own. And also the multiplication bit of it, where we didn't have to rely on their calendar, and we were equipped to go to the area that God had called us to in the Maasai. And this really happens in the Maasai, and we needed to take an area where the doors were open for us. We knew people, we had relationships, and the issue was prevailing even in that area. So we took it so that we can disciple them, even as we teach about FGM, teach them to be the older women, to be Titus 2 women, to raise agents of change through the men. And the youth are also coming along, as we have seen, because we want to change the mindset and have a mind shift of the next generation, so that we are able to wipe away this vice and this culture once and for all. So the young men and the young women who are coming now from the different ages where we are, from college, primary, high school, they have a different narrative for their society and their community.
So you're doing probably a more holistic ministry of ending FGM, but also discipleship. Also, you're doing some of the Project 9/7, you're feeding them because of, I know that up north where David is right now, he said the drought is terrible. And so the needs there are great. So you're doing more of a holistic ministry, as not just ending FGM.
Yes, the holistic bit of it is because we realized, as we have been going back is that when we deal with one issue, you leave, there's a hole, there's a gap. And we thank God that with Unveiling Glory, we are able to close that gap as we minister to them and also minister to their physical needs. There is so much more. Even if we disciple them, you can't really teach a hungry man. A hungry man will be an angry man. So when we are doing all these things, we are trying to touch their lives, and they can be able to see that indeed that the love of Jesus that is prophesied in the word of God, that they can actually feel it, see it, and it's tangible to them, not just through words, but through the actions, through Project 97, through delivering dignity towels, the audio Bibles, which have been we've gotten incredible testimonies of lives and families changed just because they can be able to hear the word in their heart language. So, and when we go back even to disciple and talk to the women, Debbie has formed relationships because these women keep coming back. Each year, every year is not something that we did once and disappeared. We are actually intentional in building their lives, in being able to change their minds. As we say, we are 1 degree of how do we come back. We are able to do that through our discipleship training. As we say, older women mentor young girls, we are able to do Titus 2 women and just be able to give them easy tools that are relatable to their level and to the community that they live in.